Congratulations, Virat. Just came under a very world-class spell of fast bowling today.
Yeah, I think the game pretty much changed in those first 40 minutes when we were batting. And as I said in the post-match, New Zealand deserves a lot of credit because they really put up a great display how to bowl with the new ball, and they hit perfect line and lengths, and forced us to sort of make errors, if any, or bowl good deliveries to us. So yeah, the pressure created was immense in those first 40-45 minutes, and when you lose 3 wickets for 6, it's very difficult to come back into the game. Still, I think our effort was commendable, but yeah, that first spell made all the difference.
Virat, wanted to know that one bad day was could have happened with any team, and top order played 8 out of 10 matches they played well, and even the England match that India lost. So do you think that there was one day that probably you should have expected the middle order to at least put their hands up, because you and Rohit and KL have done the job for 7 or 8 matches? So are you disappointed?
Well, look, you obviously feel bad for the result, and everyone goes out there to win the game for the team, and if it doesn't happen, you obviously feel like you could have done things differently, or look at things in hindsight. But yeah, that's why these games are called knockouts, because if the opposition plays better, you're out of the tournament suddenly. So we have to accept that. I think we're sad, but we're not devastated, because the kind of cricket that we played in this tournament, we know where we stood as a team, and today we were not good enough, and that's the nature of this tournament, that a bad day at the knockout stage and you're out of the tournament. So I don't think that I would like to break things down immediately, but in time we'll have to sit down and analyze where we went wrong and the things that we could have done right in this game particularly.
Virat, at the halfway stage, 240 odd runs to get, what was the feeling in the camp, and could the shot selection could have been better at the top order maybe?
Yeah, look, Rohit got a really good ball. I thought my ball was also decent. Yeah, a couple of short selections, yes, could have been better, which I already mentioned. Chasing 240, we were very comfortable. We were confident that we can get the score. Start is always important, and yeah, look, as I said, New Zealand, the way they bowled did not provide any opportunities for us. I think for the first 7 or 8 overs, we didn't get a ball to drive. So that shows the kind of control they bowled with, and they put the fielders in the right positions, and there was a perfect spell of fast bowling with the new ball, which really put us under a lot of pressure. So as I said, we're not shying away from accepting that we didn't stand up to the challenge, and we were not good enough under pressure, and we have to accept that and accept the failure as it shows on the scoreboard.
Virat, the initial setback obviously was there, but after that, Hardik and Rishabh looked like they were settling down. A little heartbroken with the shot that Rishabh played at that point in time. Maybe could have been otherwise.
Look, he's an instinctive player, and he did well to overcome that situation and string in a partnership with Hardik. I think the way they played after loss of 3 wickets was 4 wickets rather was quite commendable, and in hindsight, he's still young, so I've made many errors when I was young in my career, and he will learn. He will look back and think, yes, he could have chosen a different option in that situation maybe, and he realizes that already. So all these guys have a lot of pride and passion to play for the country, and they are the ones who feel the most disappointed when a mistake happens. On the outside, I know it looks like it was an error, but the person who makes it, trust me, they are the ones who suffer the most with it. So I'm sure he'll reflect on it, and he'll come out stronger. The talent is there for everyone to see, and the character's there. But as I said, yes, a few shots, not just Rishabh, but that happens in sport. You make errors, you make decisions which are not right at that time, and you have to accept it.
Virat, through the campaign, there were discussions in the media. I'm sure you're aware about the Dhoni's strike rate. As a captain, was it a first bit of a concern for you that perhaps the lower order could have forced the pace more and could have collected runs faster?
Well, look, it's always a safer option to look at it from outside and say maybe this could have happened. But I think today he was batting with Jaddu, and there was only Bhuvi to follow after, so he had to hold one end together, in my opinion. And because Jaddu was playing so well, you needed a solid partnership, and to get a 100-run partnership from that situation, I think it had to be the right balance of one guy holding an end and Jaddu playing the way he did. I think his knock was outstanding. So as I said, when you don't win, in hindsight, a lot of things can reflect in different manners, but you have to understand how the game panned out and till what stage did the game go. And you would obviously expect New Zealand to fight back at some stage because the target was steep after losing 5-6 wickets. But the way they batted together, I think it was the perfect tempo for that situation, according to me.
Virat, can you explain the reasons why MS came so late in the order? At 7. So.
Well, he's been given that role after the first few games of being in a situation where he can, if the situation's bad, then he can control one end like he did today, or if there's a scenario where there's 6-7 overs left, then he can go and strike. So that was the mindset behind it.
Virat, regarding the batting in the middle overs, Mitchell Santner gave away only 7 runs in his first 6 overs and took 2 wickets. So do you think we should have played him little more aggressively? 7 runs in his first 6 overs.
Look, I wasn't there out in the middle, so again, it's very easy for me to say yes, we could have, or no, it was fine. But if I knew the pace of the wicket, what the ball is doing, you looked at the scoreboard, the situation was such. So we leave responsibility to the 2 guys in the middle to make decisions, because eventually as an individual you play 1 ball at a time yourself and then you're talking with your partner. So from the outside it's very easy for us to analyze whether they should have or they shouldn't have, but it should be left up to the individuals, and they come up themselves and say maybe my decision wasn't right. So and you have to accept that. That's how failures teach you, and you improve in sport like that. But you have to accept errors also. We're not denying any errors, but I'm saying that only the guys who are in that situation, if I was in there and I played in that manner, I would be able to tell you why. So as I said again, in hindsight, a lot of things can be up for discussion, but you can never really assess from the outside whether it should have been done or not.
Virat, how are you as a captain and as a player taking this whole yourself, this disappointment? Basically, how are you feeling about it right now?
Of course, very disappointed. We played outstanding cricket, as I mentioned already, throughout this tournament, and to just go out on the basis of 45 minutes of bad cricket is saddening, and it breaks your heart also, because you worked so hard throughout the tournament to build momentum. You finish in number 1 in the table, and then a spell of bad cricket, and then you're out of the tournament completely. So, but you have to accept it. I mean, it's happened to us before, and we have all come out better cricketers because of these setbacks, especially at a stage like World Cup. But having said that, I mean, we have qualified till the semis, and we have played some really good cricket. So we should be also proud of the way we've played, and look at the positives also, because there were a lot throughout this tournament. Especially Rohit's performance was, I think, standout performance, and Jasprit with the ball, and Jadeja given the opportunities. So there are many things that we can take back as positives, but not having played that bad cricket and then just, as I said, 40-45 minutes of bad cricket puts you out. But as a sportsman, you have to accept it, that this is part and parcel of this game.
Virat, New Zealand often seen as an understated sort of side. They snuck into the finals after 3 losses. Did they surprise you today? And also, what's your how do you see them faring in the final against either India or Australia?
I wasn't surprised at all with how New Zealand played, to be honest. If there's a low total, then we knew there's probably only 1 or 2 sides in world cricket that will put 7 fielders in the ring, and that was always going to be, one was going to be New Zealand. So we knew that they're going to attack more. They would not let the game go till the end, won't take it deep. They'll just go all out and play the game that way, because I've seen them play that way. Today also, third man was up in the ring, and in a one-day game, you had 5 catching fielders. So they know how to put pressure, because they play very consistent cricket. And today was an example of that. And your second question was who?
How do you see them faring in the final against either England or Australia?
Well, it really depends on the day. I mean, if conditions are good to bat, and then they'll have to bat really well. If conditions are bowler friendly and they put up enough runs on the board, then they become a dangerous side, as you saw in this game. So it's anyone's game, I guess. Knockouts, as you saw today, whoever plays well on that day wins. So yeah, I wouldn't pick anyone as favorites. The team has to play well to win.
Jadeja had this wonderfully cute celebration, 50 looking at probably at Sanjay Manjrekar. And so how was you reacting in the team? And when did he go out? He seemed to be in tremendous mode, the way he ran down and hit a six. Did he say something before he went out to bat itself? And there was a point at last 3 overs were left, 30 or something. You were sitting in the balcony, you seemed to say, ho jayega. You were confident at that time, just when Bolt came. So Jadeja, the celebration and the last 3 overs.
I don't think any of us had to say anything to Jadeja after what happened over the last 1 week. He was quite ready to just get onto the park, to be honest. And you saw that the passion with which he played, and we've seen it in Test cricket a few times. He's played knocks under tremendous pressure, and he's got how many 3 triple hundreds in first class cricket, if I'm not wrong. So the talent's obviously always been there, and in my watching Jadeja for 10 years, me playing with him as well, this is probably his top quality, like best knock according to me, because the kind of pressure, the stage we are at, almost out of the game, and then he produces that. So he was very motivated. Yes, at that stage, we all felt like in the change room, the game can be closed out. It can be done, but then again, he played so well. And then, a mistake can happen at any stage. I don't think it was even a mistake. It was just lack of execution, which in one-day cricket, you have to take a risk here and there. So I'm really happy for him because, he's been a very understated cricketer, but a top quality cricketer for India in the field, with the ball, with the bat, priceless. So, yeah, he's had a great game today.
Virat, 45 minutes of, as you said, 45 minutes of bat play ended the number 1 team's campaign. So the knockouts, you think there should be a constructive suggestion that, it could be like playoffs 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 like that?
Well, who knows in future, maybe. I mean, if topping the table means anything, then I think these things can come into consideration looking at the magnitude of this tournament. That's a really valid point, I guess. But yeah, you never know when that's going to be implemented. But I think that's the challenge and different kind of fun of these games as well, that you have to be absolutely precise. It doesn't matter what you've done before that. It's a fresh day, fresh start. And if you're not good enough, you go home. So yeah, you have to accept that. As I said, it's a different challenge for all the teams to turn up on that day and be absolutely at the top of their game. And whoever does that, they get the result as you saw today.
Virat, I think it was after the punt wicket you went and told Shaz something. If you can reveal what you said exactly. And the other thing was you seem to be angry at your dismissal. In the knockouts that you've played, the points will come up that you have not scored. But personally, how disappointing has it been for you? Not just this, but not having scored that in the knockout matches in the World Tournaments.
Yeah, it's very disappointing not turning up when the team wanted me to. Obviously, it feels bad. Everyone gets disappointed when they get out, so it was a natural reaction. With Ravi Bhai, I was discussing what happened and what's the plan going forward from that situation, and what kind of information needs to be sent out there in the middle so we can assess where the game needs to go. So yeah, these were the events that happened exactly, and the points will always come up. I'm ready for that.
When you said the plan, was it like, did you say from that moment onwards, what was the plan?
I mean, the plan was we were targeting till what over should we have X score, so we can, analyze where we stand after that and how many overs are left from bowlers and all those kind of things. So we have a better idea what to say to the guys who are out there in the middle, because when you're having a partnership, I think after a stage you still need a fresh sort of feedback from the dressing room to tell them this is where we need to head in the next 10, 12 overs, and then that eases off the pressure a little bit, in my opinion. So yeah, that was the discussion.
विराट भाई, इसके आगे भारतीय टीम वेस्ट इंडीज़ जा रही है, वहाँ वनडे क्रिकेट भी खेलना है, तो अभी भी स्पेकुलेशन जारी है कि महेंद्र सिंह धोनी क्या करने वाला, क्या कुछ कहा है वो उन्होंने आपको या फिर टीम को, क्या उनका फ्यूचर क्या होगा, क्या निर्णय?
नहीं सर, अभी तक हमको कुछ नहीं बोला उन्होंने.
विराट, पूरे टूर्नामेंट में हमने देखा कि बड़ी तादाद में इंडियन फैंस मैच को आ रहे थे, सपोर्ट कर रहे थे. मैच हारने के बाद वो भी डिसअपॉइंट होते हैं, लेकिन सबसे दुख प्लेयर्स को ज़्यादा होता है. तो ये स्पोर्ट्स कल्चर इंडिया में आने के लिए ये फैंस को भी ये समझना कितना ज़रूरी है कि हीरो और ज़ीरो बनाना गलती होती है?
काफ़ी ज़रूरी है सर, स्पोर्ट्स कल्चर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से अगर आप बात करें तो इसीलिए मैंने बोला कि हमें पॉजिटिव्स की तरफ भी देखना चाहिए कि हमने कैसी क्रिकेट खेली इस टूर्नामेंट में। और बहुत आसान होता है कि अगर आप बैठ के बोलें कि हाँ उसने नहीं किया या वो नहीं कर पाए, और जब आप जीत रहे हैं तो आपको एकदम ऊपर चढ़ा दिया जाए। तो एज ए स्पोर्ट्समैन आप इंडिविजुअली उस चीज़ को कितने लेवल तक एक्सेप्ट करते हैं वो आपके हाथ में है, लेकिन जब वो बड़े स्केल पे होता है तो वो एक आई थिंक नेशनल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बन जाती है सबकी कि आप किस तरीके से स्पोर्ट को देखते हैं और किस तरीके से आप रिएक्ट करते हैं स्पोर्ट के लिए। तो मैं हमेशा से ही इसी चीज़ की फेवर में रहा हूँ कि अगर जीतें भी तो एक मेजर्ड रिएक्शन होना चाहिए, और अगर हारे भी तो डिसअपॉइंटमेंट होती है, लेकिन वो जब एक्सट्रीम हो जाता है तो फिर कई प्लेयर्स उसको शायद ना प्रोसेस कर पाएँ। तो आई थिंक हर चीज़ बैलेंस में चलनी बहुत ज़रूरी है। आपको अगर क्रिकेट की गेम भी जीतनी है तो बैलेंस तरीके से ही जीत सकते हैं। तो आई थिंक वो फैंस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से भी आपने जो कहा वो एकदम ठीक है कि अगर स्पोर्ट्स कल्चर हमारा और स्ट्रॉन्ग करने के लिए, जो ऑलरेडी स्ट्रॉन्ग है उसको और स्ट्रॉन्ग करने के लिए हमें जीत या हार में मेजर्ड रहना चाहिए। वो मेरा ओपिनियन है, जैसे कि क्रिकेटर से हम एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं। तो ये जो आपने बोला बात सही हो। थैंक यू।
चाहे जो भी हो जाए, कुछ भी मुश्किल आ जाए, डट के लड़ेंगे सदा। हम हैं ना डरने वाले, हम हैं ना झुकने वाले, संग अपने सबकी दुआ है उसका असर, हमारी कदर करे है ये सारा जहां, है इसकी वजह हमारी लगन, रहेगी ये हमेशा।
Oh, and everyone fit?
Yes, everybody is fit.
And so what selection issues do you have, if any? Are you likely to be unchanged?
It depends on the groundsman's final preparation this afternoon. I haven't been able to look at the wicket since yesterday. He said he was going to take more grass off the wicket. But it looked good. It looked as good as the game that we played India here. So if it is, we'll try and select accordingly.
So if it is, you stick with Liam Plunkett?
Again, if he takes more grass off and looks like it's going to turn, that decision makes itself. Is that me or you? No.
That's me.
There you go.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, if he takes more grass off and we feel it's going to turn, we'll lean towards his spinner.
you come into this game off the back of 2 wins, everyone's fully fit, you're at a ground, you've won the last 10 you must be very confident.
I think probably more confident than we were 3 games ago. I think we're probably a different team that played 4 games ago and 3 games ago. I think the loss against Sri Lanka hurt us. There was an overhang into the Lord's game, and then when we came here, we managed to produce something similar to the cricket that we've been playing over the last 4 years, and that was really encouraging. We went on to Durham to put in a better performance and improved again, and tomorrow we're going to look to do the same.
In terms of the Edgbaston crowd, they're quite loud. Obviously, Australia big rivals. Can they help you? Can they make it tricky for Australia tomorrow?
I think that's part and parcel of being the host. You've a little bit of home advantage. I think it plays a part here at Edgbaston. There is a reason we do have a lot of success here. The wicket tends to suit us, but also the support as well.
And finally from me, Glenn Maxwell, there's some doubt over his selection. What do you make of him? Is he a danger man in your eyes for Australia?
Oh, he is and has been for a long time. We're presuming he's playing. We're just preparing for all 15 to play. Whatever team they come at us with, hopefully we've picked, I suppose, the best plans and the best team to counter that.
Yes, back of the room. Sorry.
Eoin, Chris Wokes, 10 wickets so far, 1 brilliant catch. No one loves playing here at Edgbaston against Australia more than Chris.
He's an outstanding player. He's been a key player for us for a long time now, not only with the ball in the first 10 overs, but with the bat. On numerous occasions he's delivered when we've been 4 or 5 down early, and he's had a part to play, so he's a key player for us.
The Australians will be worried about him. They will know everything about him.
Oh, they'll certainly know everything about him. Like we will about their players. We've played each other a lot over the last 2.5 years or so. So yeah.
Thank
you. And when you look around your teammates today and sort of look them in the face, what are you seeing? Are you seeing excitement, tension, focus? How would you describe it?
I suppose all of those things. I haven't seen them yet. Obviously, we're training later on, but I think excitement probably should be the dominant one. Everybody is excited and has been the last couple of days to play this game. It's a semi-final of a World Cup. I think the fact that throughout the group stages for a while getting through to this stage looked unlikely or was called into question, I think that makes it more exciting for us.
BBC and Dan.
Thank you. Owen, you've always tried to play cricket with a smile and a positive perspective. In a massive game like this, is that always possible?
Yes, it is, definitely. I think sometimes, and I'm guilty of it, you can lose sight of the fact that the position that you're in and the fact that you're living your dream. I don't think it's impossible to play with a smile on your face tomorrow.
Owen, you say you're preparing for all 15 to take to the field for Australia. If
Sorry, 16, they have an extra traveller, I think, as well.
Yeah, well, Hanscom's already in. If they play Wade as well, that's 2 debutants in this tournament. I mean, is that something you can focus on, target Australia on, considering the magnitude of this game?
No, we tend not to target individuals. Unless somebody's having a really bad day on the day, we tend to target the team as a whole. And particularly a side as strong as Australia, I don't think you can find any one particular weakness a day out and say, you know what, tomorrow we're going to predict that this is going to happen, because majority of the time you get it wrong.
We'll go Ali, then Louis, then Mel.
Owen, the 2 left-armers shared 9 wickets at Lord's. What did you not get right that day, and what have you done subsequently, and how will your approach to them differ this time around?
Yeah, I think losing early wickets hurt us. I don't think we were anywhere near playing our best cricket. On top of that, I think there was a hangover from the Sri Lankan game. And I think since then we've played against quality bowling lineups and overcome them. One of them obviously being a left armour in Trent Boult. So to counter that, that's all we can do. We can practice as much as we can against left armours, but we need to deliver tomorrow.
Oh, and sometimes you say
batsmen who are dropped in an innings, and you've experienced this, and it seems to free them to go on and just make the most of their second life. Is that kind of what it feels a bit like when you were talking about having that fear when you had those losses, and now you've almost got this freedom to go for it?
I don't think it was fear. I think it was a sense of missed opportunity. I think Sri Lanka was a game that we felt that we could have won and should have won, but let ourselves down, and that had an overhang into the Australia game. Sorry, what was the second question?
Or just is it the same sort of sense as when you dropped early in an innings and you sort of, it frees you up a little bit, knowing that you sort of maybe came close to not making it?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I think we're obviously thankful that we were still in the tournament, and that wasn't the last two games of the group stage to go through. But it just feels like we're back to the team that we are. Yeah.
Oh, and Aaron Finch said he's going to take his mind off things tomorrow by watching a film. Is there anything that you or the rest of the team are going to do maybe differently tonight to just ease the nerves before the pressure game?
Not differently. If I find that anybody's doing anything differently, I'd be upset. We've prepared for moments like this. We've played in crunch games. Obviously, they haven't been semi-finals, but they've been to win a series. So guys will be doing their own thing. Some guys will be playing Xbox. Some guys will play golf. Some guys will go to cinema. So yeah, just doing what they normally do.
Oh, and you spoke about excitement. What about tension, just given how much England wants this title? Do you feel that you'll take on the expectations of the nation at all, given where we are in the tournament at this point?
I think we have throughout the tournament, and we've thoroughly enjoyed it. I think the support that we've had throughout the tournament has been unbelievable, and certainly something I've never experienced in my life. The amount of good faith and goodwill going around is fantastic. So we sense the support that's with us, but also the opportunity as well.
Oh, and I'm just wondering about the Australian team selections and whether you take any notice of the fact that Justin Langer has said that Peter Handscomb's playing and that the rumours about Matt Wade. Do you take them at face value, or do you think that the Australians are playing games?
I'll wait for the toss tomorrow. Thank you.
There's about 20 cameras here, a whole lot more journos. You know the finals are right on the doorstep, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been exciting. It's been a great build-up in the last few days since our South African game. I think we've had a really good preparation the last few days. Guys have had a really good hit out. So now it's time to get down to the cricket. It's very exciting.
Glenn Maxwell not here.
Yep.
Are we reading too much into that?
It's purely optional training session. Maxie's someone who probably 50% of the time comes down to optional sessions. Most of the bowlers aren't here. Davey's not here. So I think you're reading a bit too much into that.
So what are you weighing up? The coach has admitted that Pete Handscomb's definitely in. What are you weighing up then for the 11 in terms of Maxie or others?
Oh no, we'll name our side tomorrow at the toss as usual.
Aaron, can you tell us how important the contributions of David Warner have been in this tournament and whether he's shown more extra responsibility since his return?
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. His output, I think, just purely based on the amount of runs that he's made, it's been a huge contribution to why we're here in the semi-finals. I think that the way that he's gone about his innings, particularly at the start of the tournament, was finding his feet a little bit back, finding the pace of the game again. But the last few games against some really world-class attacks, he's played beautifully. Under pressure, he's played really well also. So it's nice to see how dominant he's been. We all know that he is a world-class player, so it's definitely not a surprise. He hasn't exceeded anyone's expectations, but just the way he's gone about it, the maturity to really kick on and get them big hundreds has been really important.
There's obviously a lot of history and tradition between Australia and England. In things like World Cups, Australia seems to have been able to handle that pressure better over the years. Do you feel that you'll be able to handle it better tomorrow? And if not, how do you think England might cope with it?
Yeah, I think World Cups they're very special. They bring out the best in the best players. So I think that's why Australia have had a very rich history in World Cups. I mean, winning 4 of the last 5. It's been a great achievement. I think that when we look at our side at the moment, we're full of confidence going into this game. Obviously, England have been probably the front runners in world cricket over the last 4 years. The way that they've changed the game in their game plan in particular, it's been very aggressive, taking it to the opposition. So for us, we know how they're going to play. They know how we're going to play. We've played each other a lot over the last couple of years. So it's going to be whoever holds their nerve, whoever takes them half chances, whoever starts off the game really well. Them first 10 overs, whether it's with bat or ball, are going to be so important for either side.
You always get a very warm reception, don't you, here at Edgbaston from the cricket fans? Are you ready for that again?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great crowd to play in front of, regardless of whether you're on the receiving end of some good banter. It's always a great atmosphere and a pleasure to play here. I think although they can be quite parochial at times, it's always good fun. They sing some good tunes out there.
Have you had a chance to look at the pitch much? And there seems to have been so many different kinds of pitches and conditions and everything so far. What are you expecting here from what you already know and what you've seen?
I only had a really brief look at it. It looks like a good wicket. It's reasonably hard at the moment. No doubt it'll get a little bit harder before the start tomorrow. A little bit of grass, but I expect the curator to shave a little bit more of that off as well. So I expect a really good wicket, a good cricket wicket, something that'll be probably batter friendly if you had to choose between the two. You don't expect too much different here at Edgbaston. It's a very entertaining ground. It's relatively high scoring if you look at the statistics over the last few years. So it'll be a good fun encounter to watch, no doubt.
Aaron, how much confidence can you take from the win at Lords, and in particular the way England struggled against your left armers?
Yeah, I think we take a lot of confidence into the game. Obviously, they've got Jason back at the top instead of James Vince. But I think the way that we went about it in that game, and also the warm-up game against them down at Southampton, I thought our processes were really good. We won some really key moments in the game, which was crucial as well. So, like I said before, it'll be about which team takes them opportunities, takes that half chance, and grabs the momentum and runs with it as much as they can. And they're always great games. So I know I've played in one World Cup semi-final, and it was a hell of an experience. It was an unbelievable game, so not expecting too much different.
Aaron, obviously a very high pressure game, but what are you guys going to do for the rest of the day and I guess tonight to take your mind off things?
Oh, that'll be just up to the individual. It'll be just feet up. I think I'm off to watch a movie with the wife this afternoon. The Queen's Corgi coming out today, so I'll be off to see that this afternoon. And what's wrong with that? Yeah, it'll just be individual. Whatever the guys want to do. I know a few boys will head out and have a few coffees and try and relax and keep their feet up.
Aaron, just on a bigger picture, as usual, just your thoughts on one-day cricket as far as what this tournament's done. And obviously, you know, the 50-over game has sort of, I don't want to say been forgotten a bit, but it's sort of been left behind a bit in the last couple of years. What's this tournament done for it, do you think?
Oh, I think the tournament's been outstanding. The way that it's gone, there's been a lot of games that have gone really deep. There's been a few one-sided games, but that happens when you play so many games of cricket. But I think all in all, the standard of the cricket has been outstanding. The combination of, or the contest between bat and ballers has probably brought it back to what we've seen during the last 4 years, which has been a real dominance by the bat. So that's been a great part of the tournament, in my opinion, that everyone's had an opportunity to dominate at some point. I know the fans want to see huge scores and lots of boundaries, lots of sixes. So, but I find the most entertaining games are those 240, 260 games when there's a little bit in the wicket for everyone. If you bowl well, you get rewarded. If you bat well and get through them periods, you equally get rewarded. So, I think it's shown what a really good contest between bat and ball can do.
Aaron, Justin Langer yesterday spoke about redemption and looking at the bigger picture. How important has this tournament been to restore Australia's reputation, not only in the Australian public's eyes, but in the cricket community worldwide?
Yeah, I think we don't play, or we don't have any extra motivation because of redemption. We're representing our country each and every game, and that's enough for us. But I think the way that we've gone about our cricket, the way that we've gone about playing all our games has been in the right spirit, as has the whole competition. It's been one that's been played in unbelievable sportsmanship and spirit. Spirit of the game's been outstanding. So as far as redemption goes, I think that's up to the individuals to tell them stories once the tournament's over.
Aaron, I wasn't here yesterday, so the question might have been asked, but I'd like to know about the barefoot walkabout. Was it your idea? What you were hoping to get from it? What was it all about?
No, it was JL's idea. He's quite spiritual, as most people know. He's quite chilled out and zen. So it was just a chance for the boys to walk around the ground barefoot. It feels nice, actually. You should try it. It is very nice.
Was that unusual, isn't it?
We've done it a little bit. Maybe just there's a few more cameras here covering a World Cup semi-final than usual.
I appreciate the team selection won't come out till the morning, but can you just talk to us about Glenn Maxwell's form at the tournament, how you feel he's been going, and whether you think runs around the corner for him potentially?
Yeah, I think runs are around the corner. I think obviously he would have liked to have got a few more runs, but he's been hitting the ball nicely. I think if you look at his contribution in the field, he's up there with most runs saved in the field. He's great run out at Taunton to win that game for us against Pakistan in a really tight game. The overs that he's bowled, he hasn't got the wickets, but he's bowled really tight. He's bowled some really key overs for us that have allowed us to mix and match our bowlers through their middle overs. So as far as the runs, I'm not bothered about that at all, because the way that he's batting, the way that he's going about his innings, I think that there's some real positives there. So runs are just around the corner, and we know how damaging he is when he gets in. He can be as destructive as anyone in the world. So that's a huge positive. But I think the overall package, the three factors that he brings to the game, is still a very exciting package.
Aaron, what do you make of your opposite number, Eoin Morgan, and his sort of captaincy and what he's done with England over the last 4 years?
Yeah, I think the way that he's gone about being quite, I suppose, he's very open with the players. The players run a lot of the stuff, and the way that he's backed his players has probably been a huge thing for the success of the England side. They sat down, from what I've been told, they sat down and devised a game plan and how they wanted to attack this World Cup a few years back, and they've been really really supportive of all the players that they identified could have a huge impact in the tournament. And I think that's a really crucial part when you look at a side over 4 years. Players are going to have ups and downs in form, but the success, the confidence that you get as a player when you're backed 100% by your captain, by your coach and selectors, I think is huge. So, I think that's a huge credit to the way that they've gone about it. He's obviously a very calm guy under pressure as well, so that goes a long way. Cheers, guys. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. Batter up, let's get to it. It's time for the US Open, US Open, US Open, US Open, US Open, US ready for the US Open, US Open, we playing cricket. US Open, US Open, we playing cricket. We playing cricket. Team of winners, team of winners, team of winners. Been hanging with winners since I was just a beginner. I'm hungry, feed me now, just bring it in gold. Big trophies, loud crowds, fans around the globe. I done lost before, but see that's what made me grow. Now I'm ready. Got a champion heart, I got a champion soul, and I came to win. For that I lose it all. For the US Open, US Open, US Open, US Open, US Open, US ready for the US Open, US Open, we playing cricket. US Open, we playing cricket. We playing cricket. We playing cricket. I came in to win, so I'm here for the fight. Got my T20 drink and I'm feeling real hype. I didn't come this far just to catch the next flight. Batter up, first swing, 3 wickets, no strike. So I gotta win. All on the line, I gotta bid. They say hard work pay off, or something gotta give. Well, I know what I gotta give. My best, because this time I gotta win. Time for the US Open, US Open, US Open, US Open, US Open, US ready for the US Open, US Open, we playing cricket. US Open, we playing cricket. We playing cricket. We playing cricket.
Kane, in 2008, you and Virat captained New Zealand and India in the Under-19 World Cup semi-final. Do you remember any of that game, and would you have envisaged that you two would be here today?
Yeah, I actually hadn't thought about that at all. So I guess that's kind of cool, isn't it? That, a few years later, we're here again, perhaps on a slightly different stage, but pretty special, and a lot of respects to be able to lead your country out in a semi-final on the biggest stage. But I know both sides, without a doubt, are looking forward to getting into the challenge, and it's a really exciting opportunity.
Apparently he got you out that day as well. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. Well, tell me how.
I haven't actually seen the video.
He used to be an all-rounder, I think, back in the day, but hasn't bowled as much recently. Yep.
Kane, how would you sum up the performance of your bowling attack so far, and what's your impression of the Indian attack?
Our attacks perform really well on a real variety of surfaces where taking pace off has been really important, certainly on the round robin stages on the surfaces that we were on. So they've adapted superbly, and we'll need to do that again coming into this next match and assess conditions as quickly as possible. And the Indian bowling attack is an outstanding bowling attack, with certainly a lot of world-class operators in there. As a side, they're very well balanced with a lot of high-quality players, but it's one of those, I guess, occasions where every team's worked so hard to end up in the last 4, where to a certain extent it all starts again, where the day comes and anything can happen, and all sides have beaten one another on a number of occasions throughout the last few years. So it's a really exciting opportunity for all teams.
Yeah, just going back to your encounters with Virat in youth cricket, what are your first memories of him? And did he obviously stand out even then?
Yeah. He was a formidable player. Growing up, I know it seems odd to say because we were the same age, playing against each other and on a number of occasions, and then to go into international cricket, at a sort of a youngish age, and then IPL and all these different sorts of things. So it's been, it's obviously been a pleasure watching Virat play and evolve into the superstar that he is.
Kane, you've obviously had a wonderful tournament with the bat, but some of the others, I'm talking about Guptill, Taylor, Latham, maybe probably haven't produced the volume of runs that we're used to seeing from them, in between World Cups. Why do you think that has been, and how important is it that they take a bit of pressure off you tomorrow against a great attack?
Yeah, I think for everybody that it sort of starts fresh tomorrow after what was a very tough round robin stage, and we were certainly expecting that it would be tough, but I think what we didn't quite expect coming into the tournament was the large variety of conditions that we faced that definitely made perhaps batting with any rhythm a real challenge for everybody. So being able to adapt with the bat and just try and contribute to what would be a competitive total if you're batting first, or obviously chasing a score down is certainly what's the most important thing. And I know the guys' mindsets will definitely be that going into tomorrow's match, and we'll have to assess conditions again. But a lot of surfaces in our round robin play were sort of 230, 240, which were really, really competitive because of the nature of the track. So look, it's just a great occasion to be a part of, and I know the guys are really excited by the opportunity to go out and try and play with that freedom that when we do gives us the best chance.
Kane, your bowlers have not dismissed and not taken all 10 wickets since the South Africa game. So is that a concern, or you're more or less happy with the way the bowlers have kept a tight leash on the runs?
Yeah, I think the bowlers have been brilliant throughout this whole campaign, and I think we know in cricket that every day is different. Some days are certainly better than others, and just trying to adapt as a unit as best you can is definitely the most important thing. And by and large, they've done that outstandingly well. And I think we've seen conditions change from first innings to second innings. On some occasions, that's been quite considerable, and so how guys have had to operate even in the start of their innings and then moving into the second half of your bowling innings has had to be quite different. So by and large, they've been superb throughout, but we know we've got a different challenge, another challenge coming up tomorrow, and that's of obviously a different side, but different conditions again.
Kane, do you have a specific area in the game where you think it'll be won and lost?
Not particularly. That's definitely an unknown, but for us, certainly from our perspective, it's about the cricket that we want to play, and if we are able to do that to the best of our abilities, then we know that we can beat anybody. And I mentioned earlier that every side in this top four has beaten each other on a number of occasions. No side's gone through the comp unbeaten, so there are a lot of parts to it that make this top four really exciting. And although we've qualified fourth, we've got equal opportunity as anybody else to. Well, there's only 2 games left in the tournament, so going into the tournament with every team having 9 run robin, we knew that on any day, whether that was the team ranked lower than the team ranked higher, that anybody could beat anybody, and we saw on a number of occasions that happen. But it's not a focus for us. Our focus, once again, is committing to the cricket and the style of cricket that we want to play that gives us the best chance.
Kane, you've said just now about playing with freedom. When you're up against India, and there are always 1 or 2 cameras following India, there's a level of attention that just goes up a notch whenever it's India are playing. I wonder if, in a sense, that allows the opponent, whoever it is, to actually play with a bit more freedom, because you almost, maybe any team feels like an underdog when you're up against India.
Yeah, and I guess there's truth in that India are a very successful side and very popular side with a large population and a lot of cameras, which is great. They bring so much to the sport that we're fortunate to be a part of. But it is a cricket match. You do try and simplify things as best you can as a team, and it does come back to the cricket that we want to play, and not too reliant on the external factors, so how we adapt to conditions. And that is the most important thing. You get to the last four semi-final. Each side's going to want to be putting each other under pressure, and we know when that happens, the bit next can be a real challenge. So both sides will be looking to do that.
Hi, Ken. Virat was saying earlier in his press conference that you and Ross are the key wickets. Do you look at it like that? I mean, how do you assess being like the focal point of the New Zealand batting lineup?
No, I don't really look at it like that. I look at my role as a role, and it's one of 11 guys that do try and play their role to the best of their ability. And there's so many guys that have had significant contributions over the last few years that have gone a long way for us to win cricket matches, and we all have that same opportunity going into tomorrow, where after a very busy and fairly long run robin series, it's important that guys almost take that fresh mindset going into tomorrow with a really exciting opportunity in front of them.
Yeah. At this level, each and every team prepares almost same, and work ethics and class is almost same. Do you think that it boils down to one thing, playing under pressure?
Yeah, it's hard to pinpoint one thing that stands out as being perhaps the be-all and end-all, but I suppose both sides, every side in international cricket trains as hard as they can to give themselves the best opportunity on the day, and often in those small moments pressure arises and can be a big play, and if you do get that momentum, then that can be really important, certainly in white ball cricket. So yeah, it does play a part, but there's probably a lot of parts around it that you want to address so you can handle those smaller moments as best you can.
Kane, does it fire you and the team up that many people are writing you off before the ball's bowled, that India's quite big favourites for many people?
Sorry, I would. I don't know if fired up's the right term. It's we're in the top four now, and I think if we're reflecting back on the round robin, we definitely deserve to be here, and that's reflected in the standings. We had a couple of tough losses coming into this part of the tournament, but we do need to look at those for what they were, and there are a lot of factors there that were stiff challenges, not just the opposition, but conditions as well, and trying to adapt to those as best you can is the most important thing. So whether we're underdogs or not, it kind of doesn't really matter. It is about how we turn up tomorrow and look to commit to the plans that we want to implement and try and go out and play with that freedom, because I mentioned earlier that every side has beaten one another on a number of occasions. It is a semi-final. There's perhaps a few more external parts to this match that are a little bit different from others, but I think the team that goes out and has that approach, sticks to their plans as best they can, then does give themselves the best chance to win the cricket match.
Kane, up until, I guess, less than 48 hours ago, you guys may be mentally thinking you were facing Australia in the semis. Does the kind of late switch of opponent, to use a better phrase, does that help you guys and give you less pressure rather than playing a kind of trans-Tasman game where the focus may have been quite intense?
No, I think regardless, it's a semi-final of a World Cup, and whoever you play, it's going to be a tough match. Top four teams have managed to get through, obviously playing some good cricket along the way, and we know that we're in for a tough battle, which is great, and it's to be expected. And whoever you play, I think every side has the belief that you get to this point that they can go all the way, and to do that, you need to basically beat everybody. So whoever the team is, it comes back to us in terms of the side we have and what cricket we want to play, and hanging our hat on that. And if we are able to do that, then who knows what the future holds for us.
Kane, you just spoke about your attack exploiting, the change of pace and bowling cutters on wickets. How would that change on a fresh wicket in a knockout? And have you actually had a chance to look at the pitch, and what did you make of it?
Yeah, I haven't actually seen the pitch just yet, but obviously we'll have a look fairly shortly. how that will change, I'll only know until we see the pitch. But without a doubt, it will change. So it is important we do look to adapt quickly, like we have done on other surfaces with bat and ball.
I can. In the last few months, if there was a bowling unit that had reduced Indian top order to 18 for 3 or 18 for 4, it's been New Zealand. Even in the warm-up game, we saw that what New Zealand can do. There's a bit of a rain threat around as well. How do you see the New Zealand fast bowlers targeting the Indian batsman to the moving ball? Do you think there's a bit of a weakness there in the Indian top order where under helpful conditions, your fast bowlers can exploit their top order and expose their middle order?
Conditions are a big part of that question, and on the ones that we have been successful in that respect, we've been able to exploit those conditions. And I think you come up against any opposition with the ball is moving, whether it's off the surface or in the air, then you do have the opportunity to take early wickets. And I think everybody goes into the game with a desire to do that. We will have to wait and see what the surface holds for us. But as a bowling unit, the guys will be certainly trying their best to try and take early wickets on whatever surface that we're dealt with, because we know that it is very important. Obviously, India have a very good batting lineup, so you do need to try and dismiss them in order to keep either a total low to chase, or whether that's batting first and defending.
Kane, the batting reliance on you at various points throughout this tournament, is there ever a sense that that's a burden, or is it something that you relish, just so much that so much of the team's fate seemingly rests, with you?
No, I think there's also been a number of other contributions that have been really important in order for us to get to where we are right now. Whether that's a lower score in terms of an individual, it's still been very significant for us chasing totals down, which we've done well in the earlier stages of this competition. And from my perspective, it's going out trying to play my role as best I can to help move the team forward, and that doesn't change going into tomorrow. And you're always wanting to contribute more. You never sort of put a number on it, but that's, I suppose, why we all practice as hard as we can to try and make those contributions bigger and better.
Just finally from me, Kane, what's your plan to bring down Rohit Sharma? There's a lot of parts to that, and as a bowling unit, first and foremost, it's assessing conditions. Rohit's been clearly the standout batter in this tournament so far, and been batting beautifully. But as we know, we come into a semi-final. It's another day where both sides will be trying to adjust to the conditions as quickly as possible, and both teams will be looking for early wickets, regardless of what their name may be. But without a doubt, he's been superb throughout the tournament.
Thanks very much, guys. Thanks very much, guys. Cheers.